He might be a lovable oaf to us, but that doesn't mean he's not an all-round terrible husband. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 reasons why Marge Simpson should divorce Homer.
Get a divorce.
But isn't that a sin?
Marge, just about everything is a sin.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at all the red flags from Springfield's laziest safety inspector that should have Marge taking the kids and heading for the door. We'll only be considering canon episodes, so no Treehouse of Horror specials. Number 10, he's incredibly lazy. Sure, Homer has a job, but he phones it in at best, goofing off more often than not.
5 minutes before critical mass.
Critical what?
At home, he pigs out on the couch rather than helping with the chores, and only takes an interest in his own children with the most vigorous prompting. Even on the occasions that Marge has a full-time job, Homer still expects her to do 100% of the home care.
Around the house, I never lift a finger. As a husband and father, I'm subpar.
Geez, Marge already has 3 kids to raise, and apparently her husband as well. It's no wonder she has a mental breakdown back in season 3. You've been napping on your marriage, Homer. Time to wake up and smell the donuts. Number 9, he takes Marge for granted. Homer is all about number 1, and constantly disregards Marge's feelings.
Breaks up families. Turns wives against husbands.
He's skeptical when she needs a therapist to overcome her fear of flying, and spies on her session when she seeks out professional help on another occasion without telling him.
She has crossed the line. How did you find out?
Spied on her with a hidden camera.
When he learns that he's driving her up the wall, rather than becoming a better husband, he's angry that she kept her session secret. While he eventually comes to terms with the fact, it's only because he learns that the therapy acts as a reset button, allowing her to endure his shenanigans for the rest of the week. Number 8, he's a terrible role model. Homer's misbehavior isn't lost on the kids. Bart acts out daily, rebelling at home and at school, and Lisa is basically a walking case of daddy issues, compelled to seek paternal guidance from outside sources, even Mr. Burns. The children never see Homer having to face real consequences for his antics, or what he puts Marge through, which can't exactly be a good life lesson.
You tried your best, and you failed miserably. The lesson is, never try.
Maybe Homer should be the one in detention. 100 lines of "I will be a better role model" couldn't hurt.
I am so sick of that story about finding an onion ring in your French fries. It was 20 years ago.
Until then, it's yet another reason for Marge to pack her bags. Number 7, he doesn't respect her. In flashbacks, we see that Marge was once a bright young woman with varied interests in language, arts, and social justice. After meeting Homer, she falls for his doofy charm and gets knocked up at a young age. And the rest, of course, is history. When she does have an interest, like painting, being part of a play, or singing, Homer is either oblivious or resentful.
Why can't you be a little more supportive?
'Cause I don't care.
Even when she becomes a cop, he refused to take her seriously.
Ooh, I'm Officer Marge. I'm gonna arrest you. Hey, whoa, what? Ooh, Marge, not here.
She may have made the most of their marriage, but it's clear the whole thing might have been a terrible mistake. You're an artist, Marge. You know that pencils have erasers for a reason. Number 6, infidelity. While Marge has the occasional crush and is tempted from time to time by other men, Homer crosses the line on more than one occasion. He's openly flirted with other women, cavorted with an exotic dancer, and seriously toyed with the idea of an affair right up to the point of inviting another woman into his hotel room. Although, to his credit, he did look pretty miserable about it. Worst of all, however, he once got so drunk in Vegas that he blacked out and married someone else.
We are so dead.
That's right, straight up bigamy. And no, Homer, just because goody two-shoes Ned Flanders did it too does not make it all right. Number 5, he's selfish and reckless. Even when buying a gift for Marge, Homer thinks of himself first and foremost. A fan of impractical, outlandish schemes, he's willing to drop everything, both work and family responsibilities, to follow them through, until he gets bored and leaves the mess for someone else to clean up.
Marge, can I get some change for the candy machine?
He's extremely dependent on Marge, who's had to sacrifice her own ambitions to take care of him. Marge is a generous, patient woman. and Homer takes full advantage at every opportunity.
All she needed was for that big slob to show her some respect.
She ought to hit him where it hurts and withhold pork chops until he can learn how to think of others.
Listen, if it'll make you feel any better, I'll put the safety on. Oops, guess it was already on.
Number 4, he's emotionally manipulative. Marge is so sweet and nurturing that she deserves the same care and attention. But she usually only gets it after Homer has to make amends for messing up.
Lisa, you're smart. Help me trick her into taking me back.
Grand gestures are nice, but not when they're just a way to cover your beer and donut-inspired butt.
I don't want to go to that.
You said you'd do it as a favor to me.
That doesn't sound like something I'd say.
Parceling out the consideration and affection someone craves to make up for your own wrongdoings is pretty messed up.
I wanted to surprise you with a kicky summer do. How many husbands would do that for their wives?
None. They'd have more sense than that.
It's never about Marge and what she actually needs. It's all about getting Homer out of a jam and convincing her for another week that he's worth the trouble. Number 3, he breaks the law. Homer's antics are for the most part harebrained schemes that, while stressful for Marge, are at least within the bounds of law and order. But from time to time, he leaps right over that line into a life of crime.
Beer!
From rum running to drunk driving to vigilantism to child abuse to bail jumping, Homer has a rap sheet nearly as long as the series. Worst of all, he sometimes involves his kids, making them accomplices and endangering their lives. Marge ought to raise the bar the next time he's fixing to get thrown behind bars. That way, the next cake she bakes won't have to have a nail file inside it. Number 2, he has a love affair with beer. Many people enjoy a drink or two after a long day of work, but Homer's intake is well above the reasonable consumption level.
You're already drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Whether he's drinking away his paycheck at Moe's, getting wasted on the couch, or making a public spectacle of himself, it's clear that Homer has a problem.
Alan Sir Jr.! I'm Princess Margaret!
I'm drunk!
His alcoholism frequently threatens not only his safety, but that of his family. In one episode, Marge even ends up in rehab because he framed her for his drunk driving accident.
I can't believe I drove drunk.
But you do believe it, right?
If there is no changing Homer, perhaps it's Marge who needs the intervention. Because she's hooked on a rummy dummy, she might just have to quit. Number 1, he's an awful dad. Homer certainly has his moments. Do It For Her still gets us tearing up like we've had one too many flaming Moes. But overall, Homer is a terrible father. He strangles Bart on the regular and even forgets at times that he exists. And his son isn't alone in the neglect.
I didn't think you'd understand.
Hey, just because I don't care doesn't mean I don't understand.
Homer mocks Lisa frequently, and whenever she makes pointed social or political comments, tells her to go to her room, in effect punishing her for being outspoken.
Ooh.
Mom, prohibition may be unpopular, but it's the law, and we still have
Go to your room, Lisa.
As for Maggie, half the time he can't even remember her name. Homer is more of a weekend kind of dad anyway. Might as well make it official.
'Cause she was fighting my dog and stealing my poison. Now give her back so I can take her home to my rat-infested house.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.